gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
Let's get ready to rumble!
This one by Mattingly. Oh, hang on to the roof.
Montana looking, throwing in the end zone. 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Little roller up along first. Behind the man. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Yes! Saturday, and I almost got that 100%. So, we are, this is Sports and Sorts. Welcome back. It's Saturday morning. We go live on YouTube every Monday at 10, every Wednesday at 11, and every Saturday at 10:06, because that's what time it is right now. It's supposed to be 10, but, we're just running a few minutes behind. I had to wait for my coffee to be done, so I'm sorry. But I need that coffee. So you can also find the show anywhere anywhere podcasts are played, iTunes or anything like that. I am one of the hosts. My name is Shane Moore.
I'm the Bry Man.
Yes, he's the Bry Man, who's obviously doing some serious studying right now on what we're going to be talking about today. Or he's looking at Christmas lights or Christmas hats or something Christmas. And, since it's not pumpkin anymore, he's got to be doing something Christmas.
Oh, it's still pumpkin. I'm still getting my pumpkin coffee every day, Duncan. That's happening.
So you can check out the Facebook page, facebook.com/Shane and the Bry Man, where you can like that page. I usually try and post it, like I just did, post it to that page to let you know that we're live. And I also give you a little pre-warning when we're going to be going live. Or you can follow the show on Twitter at Shane and Bry Man, where I think the same thing happens, because I think everything I post on Facebook goes to Twitter. So we got a great show. Let's go.
You are listening to Sports and Sorts with Shane and the Bry Man.
Bry Man, we got a lot to talk about today.
We do.
I mean, we no more than normal, I guess. But we do have some good games to talk about. We have a week.
We have a lot to talk about. Well, maybe not many more than
we got some good things to talk about. Some really good things. I'm really excited about the show today because we got some really good football to talk about. There's some good matchups that are going to be happening this week. Some key matchups. Particularly the Sunday night football game, that is going to be a good matchup. Offense versus defense should be fun. In Chicago, that should be a lot of fun to talk about. And there was a hot trade that was made while we in between our two shows. And I want to get your take on that after when we get into the MLB Hot Stove. But first, we need to talk a little NFL. So, Sunday football matchups are here. I'm going to be taking the Eagles versus Cowboys. Who do you have this week?
Ravens at Chiefs.
Ravens at Chiefs. Oh, another defensive battle versus an offensive team. So with one less weapon, the Chiefs have one less weapon. We'll see if they can actually beat one of the best defensive teams. There's probably three top tier defensive teams this year. The Ravens are one, the Bears are another, and then I would have to say the Cowboys are the other. There's those three teams that just their defense has been not letting opponents put points up on the board. And we're going to get to see how tough those defenses are this week, particularly, with the Bears and the Ravens. So,
yeah.
All right, why don't you go first? Why don't you got the Ravens versus Chiefs. Are they in Kansas City?
This is in Kansas City, yeah.
Okay, so that's going to be a little, that's good for the Chiefs. All right.
It's good for the Chiefs. And obviously, look, the Chiefs are coming off here. Is this their first? No, this is their second week, I guess, without Kareem Hunt. And I do like the Chiefs to win this game. However, I think this is going to be a really hard fought battle because I think the Ravens are starting to find their footing a little bit, and I think they're reestablishing their defensive identity. But this is just still too high powered of an octane offense to to try and go up against in a week where you're trying to get to 8-6. It's just going to be a really tough road to hoe. But I do really like this game to be very tight though, and I like the Ravens to be very game for it. I think one of the ways that if the Ravens really want to try and pull off an upset here, I would try and mix Flacco and Lamar Jackson as much as possible, because I think the key to beating the Chiefs is keeping their offense off the field. It's similar to how you beat Brady. It's similar to how you beat Breeze. You got to keep these high-powered offenses off the field. I think the Ravens can do that because they've got a decent running game between Gus Edwards, and then they've got, Alex Collins really hasn't played much. I think Edwards has really kind of taken over the lead back role. And then, you have Lamar Jackson, who obviously gives you that threat. But you know what? It's just going to be a little bit too much Chiefs in this game. And let's be honest, the Chiefs have a ton to play for right now. They still have to play for home field advantage. They absolutely, positively must have home field advantage. And I know they're 10-2, and the Patriots are 9-3, and the Texans are 9-3 too. But the Patriots do have the tiebreaker head-to-head win over the Chiefs. So if you're the Chiefs, you have to keep your foot on the gas pedal here. You've got to keep winning games, and you have to win home games, regardless of how tough your opponent is, especially on defense. But this is going to be a really tough game, a little bit more low-scoring than usual, but I still like the Chiefs to get over 24 points, and that's the kind of number where I think it gets dicey for the Ravens offense, because I think you're asking a little bit too much there. So I do have the Chiefs here, 26-18 in Kansas City. And they maintain that very slim one-game lead. 26-18 Chiefs, and they maintain that slim one-game lead over the Patriots, but they have to keep winning.
And the
Ravens, they have to stay a game ahead of the Patriots.
All right, okay. All right. So I took a tough game. I think this is a really tough game for me personally. This is a tough game for me internally here, and that is. Let me put this up on the screen real quick so that everybody can also they can see what's going on. Eagles versus Cowboys. If you guys are listening, I would like to hear who you guys got. Ravens versus Chiefs, who you guys got. If you guys are listening, I know it's Saturday morning. We don't typically get a ton of viewers, which is why it's a more relaxed show. But this week, I picked the Eagles versus the Cowboys. They're in Dallas. The Cowboys are favored in this match by 3.5 points, and this game goes against everything I want in a football game. Because, as most of you know, I'm not a Cowboys fan, but I also respect greatness, and because you need to appreciate it when it comes around. And it's not because of anything for them on offense. Ezekiel Elliott is a very good, very talented running back, but when it comes to it, their defensive line, particularly their defensive line and their linebacking core, they are great. They can get to the quarterback. They can disrupt the other team's running game. They are very, very solid. And it is fun to watch when you're a Cowboys fan. Unfortunately for me, my man Carson Wentz, this does not play well in his favor. His team is banged up. His offensive line hasn't been anywhere near as solid as last year, and his defense is a sieve due to all the injuries. And then you have the other side of the ball where Dak is, he's not great. He's been getting them wins. I guess you can call him getting them wins. He's not losing them games, even though he's trying, because he's fumbling in big spots. He's throwing interceptions, and he's just not very solid. But they seem to keep winning because of their defense and their running game. And then you throw a little fuel on the fire with Camu Grugier-Hill, who gave the Cowboys some nice bulletin board material by calling the Cowboys chokers, which actually makes no sense whatsoever, because the Cowboys they have many championships. So I don't know how maybe this Cowboy team is chokers. I don't know. I don't know what his goal was there, but he ended up coming out and apologizing for it, which that makes him look like a coward now. But I don't know. Whatever. Ezekiel Elliott has been a beast and he's going to have extra rest this week. I believe they have 10 days off since their last game. And that does not play out well for the Eagles defense, but the Cowboys don't really play all that well when they have extra prep time. And And the one weakness the Cowboys have is covering the tight end. And the Eagles' best weapon is Zach Ertz, their tight end. And he needs to have a huge game. I think he will have an enormous game. This will be a low-scoring affair, and I have the Eagles actually taking this one to tie up the division, putting some legit pressure on the Cowboys. This is obviously, for me, it's a heart pick, but the analysis I have done is turning my head around a little bit too, and it's still mostly a heart pick, but I'm taking 24-21. I'm taking the Eagles to win this one in narrow fashion.
Okay.
That's a tough one. That was a tough one for me. I was like, when I initially looked at the pick, I'm like, the Cowboys got this. The Eagles, their defense is just beat up. But I was like, you know what? Dak he can't do anything against defenses. He can throw the ball for about 220. He's going to throw probably a pick. He'll probably fumble once. But Ezekiel Elliott, there's a good chance that, the Eagles they're pretty good against the run. Even though they're banged up, they're still pretty good against the run. So I think they're just going to try and stuff the box and make Dak beat them. And I just don't think it can happen.
Well, that's how I would play it. If you're that, you have
it's the only option really that they have.
It really is. And the other problem that you have though is that Zeke can beat you in multiple ways. He's not a one-dimensional running back, as most running backs kind of aren't these days. But he's really not. So shutting him down, if you want to put 8 in the box and just try and prevent him from being able to run the ball, that's not a guarantee either because he's such a beast. Mm-hmm. So it's tough. It's tough. It's definitely tough. But feed him. Yeah, that stuff's funny. Hey, but you know what? The Cowboys kind of found something that they've all bought into there. They've got a little mojo right now. It's kind of hard to deny. This would be is this game in Dallas?
Yeah.
It would be a tough loss for them if they lost this game.
Yeah.
Just because the Eagles just have not played well this year.
Jason Garrett is not – he's not been known to be like step up to the challenge.
Big game.
In big games.
This is as big a game as the Cowboys have played in a while.
Yeah, and it is for the Eagles too. The Eagles lose this, they're done. They have to. Still have to play the Rams.
I would honestly argue that it's bigger for the Cowboys in so many different ways. One, you could completely take control of the division if you win this game. Two, there is a mental hurdle here because you're 7-5, 8-5 there is a massive difference between 8-5. And 7-6.
Yeah.
It's a really big, this is a big swing for them. Mm-hmm. So there is but more importantly though, you really you can really get the division,
Yeah, they lock it up.
By the Jubblies here, if you can,
because the Eagles, the rest of their way, there's still a good chance they lose the division because they still have to play the Rams. They have another tough game too. They finished the year with the Redskins, but it's like Rams and somebody else that's really good. I can't remember who it is, but they're in a rough shape. It might be the Texans or something like that. It's like they're in deep doo-doo at this point in time of the season.
By the way, our friend, my good friend and our friend of the program, Timmy Tim, just sent me this picture.
Uh-oh.
He is watching us on his TV, on his wall.
That's amazing.
With a text that said, "That's unsettling." Thanks for watching, Timmy.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. That's hilarious. That's awesome. Hey, we're on a big screen.
We are on a big screen. It may be the only big screen we're ever on, but we are on a big screen right now.
I told you, last night, I actually turned it on. I watched one of our clips. One of the best of that we throw out there. It's the clips, and it was the one from PETA that you were talking about this last game.
By PETA rant?
And I was like, I have to listen to that again because I was like, in the moment I thought it was pretty funny, and then I watched it again. I was like, that is hilarious. I can't believe this is a serious thing.
PETA taking themselves seriously these days for sure.
Oh man, not just seriously. They went. This is like next level. I don't even know. I can't even. This is crazy. Anyway, all right. Let's get into. We'll get into our Sunday night game. Rams versus Bears. This game should be a battle. This should be a big time battle.
Yeah, I think Mitch is back for this game too.
Yes, he is. He's practiced pretty much all week. He's back. Who do you got? Because I know who I'm taking here, but you have the honors because you have. Yeah, destroyed me this year in picks. So go ahead.
Yeah, believe it or not, I'm actually going with the Bears in this game.
I'm not shocked by that. Not shocked.
the Bears are kind of like that they're that team for me this year that I have just really been quietly impressed by. It started right at the beginning of the season when they made the trade for Khalil Mack, and I really thought, because I already thought they had some guys on defense, but he really solidified that. And you have seen the growth of Mitch Trubisky very, very quickly. Look, the Rams, I think, are going to lose maybe one more game this year, and I think this might be it.
Okay.
And I just, Sunday night, it's going to be cold in Chicago, probably windy. The elements will play a factor, which could mess with Jared Goff. I just feel like this is one of those games where the Bears steal one, but maybe not even steal one. I mean, they're a good team. They shouldn't really be underestimated here. I think the easy pick is just to say, well, the Rams, one loss, they keep steamrolling. This is they're gonna keep doing so. No, I think they're gonna trip up a little bit here in Chicago, and I think Chicago's gonna play a really good game. I think Chicago has a nice balance. Tariq Cohen has really become the two-way weapon that I think they kind of hoped Jordan Howard would be. Jordan Howard just has kind of stunk, which sucks because I had him in a couple of fantasy teams and that just did not work out.
Yeah.
I picked him high, and I picked him high, relatively high in both of those leagues, and it just didn't pan out.
Right, when you picked him?
No, I've never been high. Well, I've been secondhand high once. I don't know if that counts. I did get secondhand high once at a Roger Waters concert at Yankee Stadium, but other than that, no, I've
fantastic.
Yeah, it was funny. I had the giggles. My brother and I were laughing the whole way home in the car. How did we get so far off track? Anyways, yeah, Bears. No, I like the Bears, and I like the Bears defense to kind of hold the Rams down.
I'm really in the mood for some 7-Eleven taquitos.
No, so actually what's funny, because we were on our way home, though, we did want to go to 7-Eleven so we could get Slurpees, because that was we really, really did want, I was craving a Coca-Cola Slurpee, or like a Wild Mountain Blueberry or whatever it is.
I need something with fake cheese, please.
Man. Yeah. That used to be That used to be my brother. When we were much less healthier and younger, that used to be our go-to, on the way home from Yankee games. There was always a 7-Eleven.
That's awesome.
Somewhere on the, off of the Sawmill that we would go, because we always took the Sawmill home from Yankee Stadium. And there was always a 7-Eleven. I can't remember the town it was in, but it was it wasn't far from Chappaqua, I don't think, but we would take that exit, bang a right, bang a left, boom, 7-Eleven, we'd grab our Slurpees and be on our way.
That's good times.
Anyways, I like the Bears in this game. No, I do. I think that but I do think there's going to be points scored. So that's the interesting thing about the Bears too, is the Bears are kind of one of those teams where I feel like they can get into I think they can get into a high points battle and actually pull it out. And I think that's what's going to happen here tonight, tomorrow night, excuse me. So I've got the Bears in this one. Close, very, very close game.
Yeah.
28-25.
Wow. Okay.
Bears.
That is very, very close to my score.
Bears.
Might not be the same, but it's very similar. I have this game as just going to be a battle. I think the Bears defense is great and the Rams offense is great, and where this gets separated is who is better on the other side of the ball. And the Rams defense is an opportunity-based defense. They take shots in big opportunities to get turnovers, and Aaron Donald is a big part of that. Also, Aqib Talib is back and playing, and that is huge for that defense. And I think that was the kind of the key matchup for them. The Bears offense can put up points, and they have their starting quarterback back. As you said, Trubisky is back. He's solid, but is prone to making bad plays in key moments, and I believe that is where this game will get separated. The Bears should be able to run the ball, as most teams can against the Rams. They just don't have the running backs to really take advantage of this. I know Cohen he's making big plays, but he's not a great running back. He's that great secondary running back. If you have that big runner, then you have this guy who can make those big plays, dumping them off and, occasional handoffs here and there, and he just makes these big runs. Howard is just slow as dirt. So he's not going to be able to do a lot of damage against this Rams defense.
No,
Aaron Donald's going to close the gap and he'll stop them. You know, they have an opportunity-based defense, and I think that this is going to be a tight game. I believe a very good game. The Rams win this one, though. I think in a tough one on the road, in the cold, and they need to win this to prepare themselves for the playoffs because last year they got embarrassed in the playoffs. This year they need to win games like this on the road to prove that they can beat a good team in a tough environment. And I think the Rams win this one in a tight game, 28-24. So we have very similar scores, but so I think they come away with a victory in this game. I'd be interested to see who anybody else has in this.
And the Rams, I think the Rams face a sort of a similar pressure to the Chiefs in that you want to try and hold on to that home field advantage. Absolutely. You now have it back. Mm-hmm. Because the Saints, dropped the game unexpectedly last week, and you've gotten it back now. But remember, the Saints hold that tiebreaker over you, so you want to hold. You got it. For them, you want to keep winning. I'm not saying the Rams can't go into New Orleans and win. I absolutely believe they can. But wouldn't you rather play that game in LA?
Yeah. Well, of course. I mean, this is one of those games. This is one of those teams that they need to prove how good they are now. They were they favorite to win the Super Bowl this year, and this is a team that got embarrassed in the playoffs last year. They need to prove that they can win tough games like this. They need to prove that they can hold on to the division lead like this. They have all the weapons. They're getting healthy at the right time. They need to take advantage. I think it's time.
I'll tell you what, too, and I mean. Not that I'm not, of course, not changing my preseason pick, which was Rams Patriots in the Super Bowl, but the Super Bowl that
looks like a pretty good pick so far.
Still looks solid. Yeah. As much as I hate to say that. But I'll tell you what, the game that I would really love to see is I would love to see Rams Chiefs Part 2. I mean, I think the Rams would destroy them because the Chiefs just don't have that running back anymore. Like they don't have a guy that's gonna put up 200 total yards. They don't have that situation. So I mean that is true. I mean you are taking an unbelievable. I mean you fell off a cliff. I mean no offense to Spencer
Ware.
They
got
Charkandrick West back. Yeah. I mean no offense to those guys, but Kareem Hunt was in my opinion the best running back.
Yeah, he's a top 3 no matter what. You can't really argue.
Yeah, No. He's top. I mean, that's just a huge blow. I mean, yeah, you're right. I can't. It's kind of tough to keep forgetting that.
Yeah.
That he's gonna be gone. But he'll be a Redskin eventually. But or a Patriot. Would you put that past Belichick? I wouldn't.
You sure he won't be a Dolphin?
I don't think so. Yeah. I don't think so. They're always. I mean, even though they've got a lot of guys who lack character.
Okay.
They're always trying to preach that whole thing about about culture and stuff like that. And even though they have as many criminals on their team as most other teams do,
their offensive line coach was
Norton Coke. So I mean, who are they? Right?
But to be fair, I mean he is based in Miami, so I mean. A lot of that going on out there.
Yeah, I guess.
All right, let's move on.
I wouldn't know. Is blow a big thing in Miami? I guess it is, right? Yeah. Isn't that what the movies tell us, right?
Yeah, that's what the movies tell us. Movies, they're always right.
So that's where all the cartels are, right?
Just like it's just like the internet. When you see it, it's on the internet. It's true.
Right. Yeah, sure.
Don't do any fact basing. Forget that. Who does that? It's in the movies. It's true. All right, let's move on to. Actually, we're going to be talking about movies in a little bit because there was a trailer released and it set the internet on fire. And I want to talk about that. And I want to know what you have to say about it because I obviously have some opinions on it, and I know you do too. And I'd like to see if we're in the same realm here. I'm not sure we are, but we'll see. All right, let's get on to some baseball here.
Play ball.
MLB Hot Stove still underway. Obviously, we're going to start with the Paul Goldschmidt trade. I know Damian posted something on our page about how he feels like the Cardinals, got away with him here. They kind of swindled the Diamondbacks because they didn't have to give up a lot. And
interesting, because I don't think that's the general consensus among scouts, because I think a lot of people feel like the Cardinals gave up a boatload here. I don't know. I'm not going to profess to know the
maybe
Cardinals
I read it wrong
system,
because I read it a while ago, but I thought that's what he said. This is one of the situations where Paul Goldschmidt is now a St. Louis Cardinal.
It's a good fit. It looks like a good fit, too. I mean, just seems like...
He's going to look good in that uniform. He's going to play well for the next few... I mean, my guess is he'll probably sign there, too.
If he does, I'm getting one of those... Because they went back to those what do they call them? Those blue uniforms that they... Yeah, they have those again. So if he signs there, I'm absolutely getting that. He's like one of my favorite players. So
those like powder blue,
the powder blues. I forgot. I think they call it. I want to say they call it Victory Blue or something like that.
Those are nice.
I think that's what they call it. I want to say.
I don't know if they're nice to wear, but they look really cool. They look sharp.
Glorious! I'll be all over one of those if he signs an extension there. If he's going to wear 44, if he gets a 44 Goldschmidt, in that St. Louis Victory Blue, If he signs an extension, I'll definitely.
Because that's a diehard baseball town. So that would be good for him, and to shine a light on the second half of his career. That'd be good for them and the Cardinals. All right. So what was your take on this trade?
Well, I mean, again, from the Cardinals' perspective, look, I don't know. I am not going to profess to know anything about their minor league system. So as far as I'm concerned, that's just a great deal. Great deal. I mean, a great guy. A great player, significantly upgrades their offense. You put him right in the middle of your lineup. Defensively, he's a Gold Glove first baseman. It's an upgrade in every sense of the word. Now, again, I don't know anything about these guys they gave up. Maybe they'll pan out, maybe they won't. But you know what? For the Cardinals, again, and I think to your point, you made a good point here. The Cardinals can sell people, I think, on their fan base, their stadium, which is awesome. Just the history of the organization in general, a lot of championships. I think this is an easy sell. Even though you've only got a year of control here, I think it's an easy sell for a contract extension for this guy. I could I mean, don't get me wrong. I would be surprised if he signed an extension anytime soon or even in season. I wouldn't be surprised if he did, though. But, because I think if you're Paul Goldschmidt, next year you're going to have your one shot at free agency, and I think he'll make his tour. But I wouldn't be shocked at all if he decided to go back to St. Louis, because I think it'll be a great experience for him. The only thing that might, swing it the other way is if the team does not, the team is really bad and they just don't play well, and he just decides, all right, I gotta get out of Dodge. Mm-hmm. And here we go with the cat again. I see him. I see him maybe staying there, though, for the long term. So I like the trade. I think it's a great move for the Cardinals. I think it's a nice landing spot for him. It's hard to think so. It's hard to just. And there she goes. She's running in the background. But I think it's a good move for the Cards. I think it really helps them out in a division that I think they probably can, and maybe some people think they should win.
Yeah. So I mean, they have some weapons now. I mean, they have their first baseman locked up at least for this year. We'll see what happens to the next year. But if you look at this, I think the biggest shock here was that they didn't have to give up a ton. No matter how you look at it, they didn't have to give up a ton. And this is what Damian said. He said, "We call this a blockbuster, but not much of consequence went Arizona's way. The Diamondbacks may have gotten worked over here. What do you think?" And then the first comment, actually the only comment on this one, I was a little upset because when I heard this, I was like, and I saw the trade, I was like, why were the Yankees not involved in this? That, to me, is a right-handed bat that gets on base a lot, doesn't strike out. I mean, he strikes out, he strikes out, but he doesn't strike out a ton. But he gets on base at a high level. He's athletic. And they didn't have to give up a ton. So I'm a little shocked by that. And then Joe Pacento, he writes, as the comment here, "Would someone please get that repelling elf off the side of buildings in Stanford and inform him the winter meetings are starting?"
It's funny, with the repelling elf thing, I swear to God, we say that every single year. Get him off the side of that damn building and start doing your job. Mm-hmm. Look, is there a hole at first base for the Yankees?
Yeah.
I guess. You've got two guys, neither one of which are very sexy, that are vying for that job.
What are you talking about? Voit has that open shirt with the.
Boy, he's getting literal.
Come on. No? Oh. No, okay.
I mean, you know what? And the thing is, like, most Yankee fans, I would think, should want Greg Bird to win that job. Yeah. You really don't want Luke Voit winning that job. I like Luke Voit. We all like what he did last year. He had his little Shane Spencer kind of thing going on. Mm-hmm. But the Yankees fan base should really be rooting for Greg Bird to win that job. You want him to be your first baseman. This is the guy that the Yankees have with that beautiful left-handed swing. You absolutely want him.
Beautiful left-handed swing that can't seem to hit anything.
That can't seem to hit anything over 93 miles an hour, but it's amazing. Like the one thing that amazes me most about Bird is that almost all hitters can hit a fastball. They struggle with the other pitches, the curves, the sliders, your changeup. He can't hit a fastball.
He must. The only thing that, because there are some hitters out there that actually, and I've seen this, when I played and stuff like that too, that looked off speed and then it tried to adjust to the fastball, which is like almost impossible. Like you're always going to get beat on the fastball, but when you get a breaking ball or a changeup or anything like that, you are ready for it and you can unload.
I could never ever hit a curveball. The curveball was my worst enemy, especially the ones that came.
I had a tough time with the changeup. A good changeup, like when you could same delivery. I had a tough time with the changeup. I mean, that was my weakness. If it was a changeup that was on the outside half of the plate, I was likely going to be way out in front.
Yeah. Fastballs I could hit all day. My brother was, and still actually is, a part owner of a batting cage. I used to spend hours in the batting cage in like the 80-mile-an-hour cage, just swinging away, hitting lefty and righty. Yeah. I never had a problem with a fastball. But if somebody threw a curveball at me, I was I was one of those ones that was like, oh, because I thought it was going to hit.
It's coming at my face.
The kid's right up over the plate. I'm like, oh well. And I never really made a great adjustment to the curveball. You didn't see a lot of sliders back in Little League Babe Ruth, no. Even for college, the only thing I played was intramural.
You played MLB 2K something or other?
I played intramurally at college.
Oh, nice.
Where we basically, we would go and we would play, because for a couple of years I was at the West Hartford campus of UConn. Yeah. So we'd go and play other camp, we'd go and play Avery Point.
Really?
Yeah, we would play Avery Point. They always killed us. And who else did we play? I can't remember the other campus. I don't recall. But weren't you actually on the actual team?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Intramural. I did Babe Ruth high school intramural.
I was on the. I'm going to toot my own horn here a little bit. I was on the actual team, and as a freshman, I was the MVP.
Yeah, right. Yes, you were good. You were a real athlete. I was a fake athlete.
So anyway,
like that fake Johnny Hustle,
Hey, you hustled.
I'll struggle with that one.
That's important.
Well, I ran as fast as I could. Let's put it that way.
It's not very fast.
No, it's not fast. No, it wasn't that. I was still dealing with weight issues at that time.
Yeah, I was not. I was in the gym all the time. The weight issues didn't happen to later.
I was in the kitchen all the time.
There was somebody here that, it was at our house, and, she happened to be we were giving her a little bit of a tour and all that kind of stuff. And, as we do with people who don't come to our house often. And she didn't know me before in the last year. She had no idea who I was until within the last year. So she's only seen me looking like this. She was taking the tour, and she comes downstairs, and then after a little while, she's like, "What the hell happened to you?" I go, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "You don't look anywhere near like the same person as you did in some of those pictures in your room." She's like, "You're really fat."
Well, she's blunt.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate that.
You. Oh, I get that. It's so welcome to my world. I've gotten that. That's been my life for a long time.
I've done it a couple of times. I ballooned up to 240 or so, and then I've lost. The most I lost before was I got down to 215, but now I'm at 189, 192 range, in that. I'm always hovering around there now. So but that's. and that's where I've been kind of for like the last year.
That's where I've been for like the last 5 or 6 years, like in the 185-ish.
Yeah. So I can't, and if I ever got down to 185, I don't know. I think I might look weird. I don't know. I might get too skinny. It's just one of those things that, it's different for everybody's body. But like, I don't know. I'm trying to get down to like 187, 185. I just don't.
I want to get back to 165. That was I really liked that weight.
I don't know. I might lose too much of that shiz face if I get down to 185. It might be too Skeletor kind of looking.
I want that 165 life again.
165?
152 in college. I was like a pencil in college. Just so tiny, all skin and bones.
Wicked thinny. That's wicked.
Yeah,
thinny. Wicked thinny. I
Yeah.
made it work.
I used to do that thing where like if I took my shirt off and I sucked like my stomach in, like my rib cage was just really super exposed. It was like really gross. It was absolutely disgusting. Oh, those are the days, man. Like the 31-inch waist. Oh man.
Good Lord. 30. Whew, that's too don't get that.
34 now.
Don't get that low.
I don't think you need to worry about it. It's probably not. I have no disciplined eating anymore. Thank God for exercise. Otherwise, I'd really be in trouble.
All right, so let's get on to Yankee talk here.
Yes.
You wanted to talk about a few things. Yankee wish list here for yourself.
Well, look,
I'll give a little bit. I'll kind of dive into this a little bit too.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been kind of talking about how I would love to get. There's a couple of relievers I'd like to get. There's a second baseman that I have in my mind, but so I'll touch on it a little bit too. Who do you got?
All right. Well, so the winter meetings start tomorrow in earnest.
So exciting!
Thank God they're finally here.
Finally!
Yeah, thank God they're finally here because I cannot. And it gets my better judgment. I have been going on Twitter a lot lately, and it is so funny. Yankee fans are out of control. I mean, you would think that the sky is absolutely falling. Oh, Timmy, you would think the sky is. No, it's not what he said. He sent me the picture of that warped picture of when I was gigantically huge in Vermont.
That's great.
But so, anyways, you would really. I mean, if you go onto Twitter and just do like a search under Yankees, you would think the sky is just collapsing around the Yankees. Every time there's a free agent that gets signed, and it's not the Yankees' name attached to that free agent, the Yankee Twitter universe is losing their minds. First of all, everyone, calm down. The winter meetings have not even started yet. That's when everything big happens. You should be happy with the way things are right now. You already have 3/5 of your rotation is absolutely decided. And I mean, some people think it's 4 if you really consider CeCe to be, a part of that rotation. And he very well may be the 5th guy. We may just have to end up dealing with that. So you still know you have another starter that you're going to get, at least one. And you've already got Paxton, who, I'm sorry, is absolutely an upgrade over Sonny Gray. So they have gotten better. Just everyone has to calm down. Nothing really that huge. I mean, I will say that obviously some big signings have happened this year. You've got guys like Evaldi off the table. You've got guys like Corbin off the table. Goldschmidt got traded. Paxton got traded. So yeah, some big things have happened. But the 2 biggest names in the last 10 years in free agency are still out there. And those guys, they might not even be decided at the winter meetings, to be honest, because their markets are going to be so robust, especially maybe for, I think there's going to be at least a handful of teams at least talking to both of those guys. And they're both going to get $300 million contracts. But my wish list, so the point is, calm down, Yankees fans on Twitter. Dial it down. And oh my God, and on Facebook too. In both the Yankees Dailies group and the New York Yankees Fans First groups. Dial it back. Nothing, we're not even there yet. Wait till tomorrow. This is what I said. And I think I said this on Twitter. If in 1 week's time, the Yankees are, as currently constituted, the same team next week and a week from today, then you have my permission to lose your minds. Because that's bad. If they walk out of the winter meetings and they have not filled any other holes, then I'm with you. And I'll be the first person, I'll be right there with Joe Pacino about firing Cashman. Because if you don't walk away from the winter meetings with more than what you have right now, then that's absolutely bad. That's horrifying. So, going in, though, here's my wish list. And I'm going to tell you the positions and then the guys who I would like to see them get. You still need another starter. What's left? at least in terms of free agency, we know Hap is out there, right?
I'm laughing right now because I was able to find that picture.
Oh, the picture? Why don't you put it up on the screen? Feel free. This is me just a few short weeks ago, people. Believe it or not, I at one point had ballooned to 400 pounds in one day. Vermont will do that to you. You got to be careful. It's good food and great beer up there, man. You can get fat instantly. It can happen. Is it up on the screen? I'm like laying it.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Oh, so
I think you should just keep it up while I'm talking.
Just put it over your face.
Yeah, Just. Anyways, 4 positions, four slots. I think that the Yankees need to try. Oh, there it is. Look at that. It's unbelievable, dude. That was literally like a month and a half ago.
Yeah,
it's disturbing.
It's hilarious.
It really is. It's great.
It's the greatest Photoshop, not Photoshopped. Like, it's not Photoshopped at all.
It's not Photoshopped.
Accidental photo that somehow worked out that way in awesomeness.
Yeah. Like, my cheeks are like, I mean, obviously the body is ginormous. I mean, that is the body of a 400-pound man. And the face is great too, though, because the face is just like,
yeah.
And like there's jowls. And It's just great. It's just
you look like the transformation Tim Allen has to make to get into.
Right. But what's great about it, though, again, is that there is no Photoshop. It looks like a real. I mean, it is a real picture.
Yeah.
It's a real picture. Just happened to be caught during a panoramic stretch. Great. I mean, it was just. Listen, hats off to Timmy. I mean, it's one of the best pictures. It's one of the best pictures ever, and it keeps the dream of Fat Brian alive for a lot of people.
Go ahead.
Anyway,
keep getting off topic here.
Yeah, really do.
Saturday.
Four slots here. The Yankees got to fill 4 needs, I think. Ideally, this is what I would like to see.
Honestly, I haven't heard anything that you said because I was looking for that photo.
Well, that's fine. That's fine.
So
we're basically right back at square one anyway. So, all right. So I think they need another starting pitcher, 2 relievers, and then I think you need some sort of an infielder/outfielder, and you know where I'm going with the infielder/outfielder. I'll start with that one because that one is easy for me because I want Marwin Gonzalez. I love everything about the guy. He's super versatile. He's got championship pedigree. He's got a lot of playoff experience.
Not Bryce Harper.
He's clutch. Yeah, I mean, unless you want, I mean, I don't dislike Bryce Harper. I've actually even warmed up to the idea of the Yankees signing him. But you know what? To me, Marwin Gonzalez represents the new Yankee way and trying to get away from just putting that's funny. You want to try and get away from this whole concept of having to spend huge dollars on free agents, bringing in guys like Machado, bringing in guys like Harper. We have found more often than not that the heroes in October are not those guys. Mm-hmm. The heroes in October are guys like Marwin Gonzalez or, Steve Pearce. Mm-hmm. These are the kind of guys that help you win championships. Yeah. To me, Marwin Gonzalez, with his experience, having played in the American League, been in so many big games, performed in a lot of big games, to me, that's a guy. Plus, again, the versatility. He allows you could plug him you could put him at second, and move Glaber over to short until Didi comes back. And then, when Didi does come back, assuming he comes back this year, then you've got Marwin Gonzalez as sort of like your roving infielder, outfielder. He's still going to play every day. Yeah. He's going to give a lot of guys blows. He's going to fill in. You could play him anywhere. He's just a versatile guy. There's going to be a ton of competition for him, though. An absolute ton. I mean, he may be one of the most sought-after free agents at the winter meetings.
To just get off topic for a quick second, because Brandon had joined us, diehard Green Bay Packer fan. I would like to know, and I would like to read what he writes before the show's over. I want to hear his thoughts on Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy and everything like that, how all that went down. I would like to see how he feels, particularly this week and going forward. How, does he think that the team will be better off for the coaching getting let go? And what coach that he would like to have take the place of McCarthy. That's what I'd like to know. I say McDaniels is the number one. I know that you don't like McDaniels, and I am sure he probably doesn't like McDaniels either because he's a Patriots. He hates on the Patriots a lot too. So, but I'd like to see who he thinks is the guy to go to. But now let's get back to baseball. Yeah.
So all right. So I would, for that infield outfield need, I would get Marwin Gonzalez. I mean, if Brian Cashman is not making an effort to get Marwin Gonzalez, not only would I be shocked, but I'd be almost appalled because he is absolutely perfect for what they need. Think about the Yankees, the way they are right now with Didi out. Mm-hmm. You need a guy to fill in, right? And you know this guy can play everywhere. Why not put him at second base and put Gleyber at short? When he comes back, then you put him in the outfield. He can give guys spells every now and then. I mean, it's too perfect of a fit for them not to at least, if they can't get him, I understand because there's going to be a ton of competition. But, honestly, you've got to make the effort to sign him. The other thing you need, 2 relievers. I'll make this real quick. I would like to get Adam Ottavino. I think his stuff is out of this world. He's a strikeout machine.
I wouldn't hate on that.
Just because he's in Colorado, that has nothing to do with his ability to, this isn't like a hitter coming from Colorado.
It's actually better that he's pitching that well in Colorado.
Right. So, to me, it's not a no-brainer because, again, you want to talk about a guy that there's going to be a lot of competition for. There'll be as much competition for him as there is for Marwin Gonzalez. And then the other guy is bring back Zach Britton. Bring back a lefty. I like what Britton did. I mean, will I miss David Robertson? Yeah, but he's 34, and eventually the Houdini Act will, it'll run out. So you want to get if you want to get one more righty and one lefty, I would rather have, I think, Ottavino at this point than Robertson and bring Britton back. He started to find it a little bit, especially, in the last month or two of the season there. He started to get it together as his body kind of got reacclimated to pitching again.
And he's younger, he's younger than Robertson, too.
And he is younger, yes. Right.
He's younger than Robertson. He's younger than Andrew Miller, which I wouldn't mind having Andrew Miller.
So I'm trying to keep the team, relatively young here, too. And then the last thing is you need another starting pitcher. Now, you could go the route of giving Happ 3 years. I'm a little uncomfortable with going that high on him, but I think that's what it's going to take to get him. Mm-hmm. That being said, depending on what the ask is, and I don't want Trevor Bauer, but depending on what the ask is, I'd like to see if they could swing a deal for Corey Kluber. I wasn't high on Kluber before, but the more I start to think about him, his pedigree in the American League, his postseason experience, he's pitched in a lot of big games, sometimes good, sometimes not. But he has pitched in a lot of good games. The guy's won 2 Cy Young awards. He's usually in the Cy Young conversation. Yeah. If you put him in this Yankee rotation, again, I don't know what the cost would be, but I'm imagining here's where it gets a little funky though, because I told you that I want Marwin Gonzalez, but let's be honest. If you get Kluber, the chances of you getting Marwin Gonzalez are very slim, if not slim to none, because that almost certainly means that Jason Kipnis is coming along in the deal. Because the Indians want to get rid of that contract. That's really what's going on here, is the Indians want to shed themselves of that $17 million a year contract. And if you're the Yankees and you get Kipnis, he obviously slides into second. Again, you move Gleyber over to short. Now, the truth is, if you ask me who I'd rather have, would I rather have Kluber and Kipnis over, say, Marwin Gonzalez and Happ? No, I'd actually rather have Happ and Gonzalez. Because I just love Marwin Gonzalez that much. There's just so much versatility there, and I just could see him being a part of a Yankees championship team. I can envision it for some reason, and I would rather sacrifice, that, because I think Happ could still give you at least a couple of good years. He is a professional, so that would be my wish list. Ultimately, it would be Marwin Gonzalez, Adam Ottavino, Zach Britton, and Corey Kluber if you could, but if you can't get Kluber because of Kipnis, then Happ.
Okay, I see. I'm with you, but I'm not. I'm not high on Happ. I just see him. He's going to be okay. I'm fine with him being as a 3 to 5, starter in the rotation. That's great. Yeah. But if I had to choose between him or Kluber, then I would probably go with Kluber. I mean, it's one of those, and because if you get Kipnis too, now you're talking, you have a very solid second baseman. You have a top tier pitcher who, yes, he's been a Cy Young candidate for the last 4 or 5 years. He's won 2 of them, and he was, I think, third in line for this year, third or fourth for the candidacy. He kind of faltered at the end of the year, which is unlike him. He had been pitching well towards the end of the year the last few years. So, like, he's got, like, 2 club options. Is that what they are? 2 club options? For the next. So for 2019, he's guaranteed. Then for 34-35, he's got club options for 17.5, 18 mil.
And then is there I would assume there's a buyout, right?
Oh, I'm sure there is.
Probably like $5 million or something.
I don't see anything in here as a buyout. Let me see. 2019 has a $4 million escalator. Trade bonus. 2021 options increase.
I mean, bottom line, you'll have no problem paying him the club option if he pitches well. And let's be honest, for his production, what is it?
He has some serious bonus implications for being a Cy Young candidate.
Yeah,
if he finishes between 6th and 10, $500,000. 4th and 5th, $750,000. If he finishes 2nd and 3rd, gets $1 million bonus, and for $2 million. For first place, he gets $2 million extra.
Hope he gets a $2 million bonus. If he's a Yankee.
And that's the thing, is that there are really good incentives there. He does have in 2020 and 2021, he has a $1 million buyout.
Oh, that's it. It's only $1 million.
Yep.
Wow, I would have thought it would have been more than that.
So yeah, it's a very friendly contract.
It's a very friendly contract.
If you have a guy who's going to be a Cy Young candidate and you're only paying him 17.5 too, that's a bargain basement.
Yeah, the one guy I really don't want, maybe it's just because he's too weird and quirky. I just don't want Trevor Bauer. I don't want him. I'd rather have Hap.
Yeah. Oh, I don't want Trevor Bauer. I hate Trevor Bauer.
Yeah.
That's why if I had to choose now with the people that are out there, I'm going with Kluber. Probably as my number 1 guy that I want. I mean,
so we both agree on that.
Yeah, but I would take Kluber over Hap just because I like Hap. I like what he did, but
I'm only saying that if Marwin Gonzalez is involved. Because if Marwin Gonzalez is not a guy that's in play for them, then I absolutely want Kluber and Kipnis. You know?
Okay, yeah, I like that. I don't really love the Kipnis being our
but you're going to have long term. But it won't be long term. It'll only be a year, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, just for the season. How about that? I don't really like him being the second baseman for the season because I think you're going to follow in a lot of the same, roles that we've had, which is a lot of strikeouts and key moments, and we don't want that, and that's a problem. Yeah. But it depends. It depends on who else they sign. If they end up signing someone like Bryce Harper and make this deal, now you're talking. You got a guy who, he does strike out, but he gets on base a ton. So, and that's what we need. We need people that get on base. And then if you put him in the lineup, that's just going to extend everybody else longer. Sanchez is going to get on base more. Judge is going to get on base more. They're going to have more opportunities to drive in runs. It's just going to be, that's going to be a lineup that's going to be so scary.
I'm sorry, who did you say?
If they get Bryce Harper.
Oh, if they get Harper.
If they get Bryce Harper and they make this Kluber deal, that's now you're talking. The Yankees are the favorite to win the division, and the Yankees. But I don't know what. That's the problem. Is I have no idea what the Yankees are doing because they've seemed to miss out on some big opportunities here, like the Goldschmidt deal and things like that.
I can't see them doing that though because I just don't see how the money is there because you're going to take on Kluber's contract. You'll eventually offload Sonny Gray, but then you may have to take on Kipnis's contract too. Which is $17 million. Mm-hmm. So between those two Indians, you're at 34. If you subtract 9, that's 25. I mean, again, but that only depends on if you're getting like nothing but prospects back in exchange for Sonny Gray. So you're adding 25. If you let's just assume it's 30 million for Harper, that puts you at 55. I don't know how much money they have to play with.
The Indians still have to compete.
Then you still have to get 2 relievers.
The Indians still have to compete. So I would think that Sonny Gray would be in that deal. Because the Twins right now are catching them.
I mean, he could, but again, we're just okay. That's fine.
The Twins are catching them. Like the Twins are getting close to catching the Indians with their offseason moves this year. They are making sneaky moves.
Scope signing,
it's a really good deal. That's a really smart move, and they're really catching them. I watch out for those Twins. Watch out for the Twinkies. That's for sure. All right, so now let's shift. Do you want to talk anything else? I mean, I think I've kind of touched on everything. Like, I would love Britton. He's my guy. I would be stoked if they were able to pull off Adam Ottavino. I would really like to get that.
I really don't think we're disagreed on much, actually.
No, I mean, Ottavino is he's a little bit younger than Robertson, but still, he's he was really solid.
Yeah,
But the two guys that I would really like would be Britton and Miller. I just don't know if they'll be able to get both. But
Maybe you get
Adam
Miller
Ottavino would be great. I would love to see Adam Ottavino come back and be in their bullpen.
Would you take Ottavino and Miller if you could do it?
I wouldn't love it, just due to the Miller injuries, and Ottavino is good. He's a really good player. He pitched really well last year, but I get nervous, with the career. He hasn't really shown.
Yeah, I understand
this over the long haul. Like, he's going to be that good.
Right. At least with Britton, you know kind of what you're getting.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would be a little nervous with Ottavino being and then Miller, because Miller with the injuries and Ottavino not being solid, with this great weapon. He had a great year last year. And he's had other really good years, but he's never been that consistent. So I'd be a little nervous about that. But other than that, I would say I'd be okay with it. I'd be fine. Their bullpen's not going to be terrible. That's for sure. All right. So, anything else in the hot stove sitch?
Well, I'm just checking MLBTR right now just to see if there's anything that we want to bring up. No, I don't think so.
All right. So,
other than the fact that that the Nationals, and I don't know if I buy this at all, but they basically said that they don't expect to
they're not going to
re-sign Harper.
Yeah. It's going to be tough for them.
Well, I think a lot of people figured that anyway after they signed Corbin. So
yeah, but it seemed like they had money. They had money to spend, and they could do it. They could do it. I just don't think that Harper wants to play there. And I think that's
do you want to maybe? Well, let's just do one more thing before we jump off of baseball. Make it very, very quick. Just predicted landing spots for Machado and Harper. Go ahead. You can go first.
I think Machado ends up in Philly, and Harper lands in one of two places. He lands in New York and as a Yankee, or he lands in Dodger Town.
Okay. We agree on Machado. I think that's a done deal that he's going to the Phillies. And on Harper, I actually think he's going to end up in Chicago.
That'd be interesting. Yeah. I wouldn't want to go there if I was him, but I just don't like. I'm really losing favor with Madden, so I don't. They need to part ways with him, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. All right, so let's. I wanted to talk about this real quick before we moved on, because I had mentioned that Brandon. I wanted to hear his thoughts on the coaching change, because he's a diehard Packers fan. He said he was glad to see McCarthy go. I'll post all this stuff up on here, but for the listeners that are just catching it on iTunes, the podcast side, I think they are a few years, this is what Brandon said. He said, I think they're a few years behind the changes they've been making. Last year they got rid of the GM, Dom Capers. This needed to happen years ago. And then he said, I loved McCarthy, but his time has run its course. He has been so passive and borderline predictable. And then he said, I want a young, aggressive play caller. They got the best quarterback in the league. I'd like McVay. I like McVay. I'd like a McVay.
You'd like a McVay-like coach.
Yeah. Someone young and hungry. McDaniels, I don't know. I'm not sure who. And then he said, the last person in my list is Clay Matthews. Production way down, overpaid, with young, banged-up secondary. We need edge pressure, and he sucks and makes stupid plays. And he said he's still here, too. So that's great. So he's not sure who he would replace him with. I think McDaniels would be a good guy, because obviously he's gone toe-to-toe with Tom Brady. They have, Belichick, we know, is a great defensive mind. He's a defensive-minded coach. And they still have put up high-powered offenses.
Well, the one thing that we've also discovered about Belichick is that he certainly seems to struggle, at least this year, against his former coordinators, because he's lost to Matt Patricia and he's lost to Mike Vrabel, who both coach teams that are not that good. Yeah. I mean, the Titans are the human roller coaster, and and the Lions are, they went into sell mode earlier this year. So
yeah. So I don't know. It'll be very interesting to see how that shakes out. He'd be my guy, because I just don't trust any of the guys.
And they were beaten soundly, by the way. The Patriots were beaten soundly by both of those teams. The Lions game was a little closer, but still, the Lions kind of dominated, and the Titans just absolutely rolled the Pats. So, but listen, Brandon, if I'm you, and it's just me, and I know it's not, and it is not a Patriot thing, because I actually I had like no issue whatsoever with the Lions hiring Matt Patricia. I thought that was a perfectly fine hire.
If Patriots fans were pizzas, they'd be cocksucker supremes.
Listen, I stand by that. I don't care how old that is. I stand by that.
Anytime Tom Brady walks on a field, you are well within your right to throw a big floppy on that field.
Jesus. I still stand by that too. I stand by that one even more. What the hell was I saying? Now listen, if you are, this goes for anybody. I would not touch Josh McDaniels. There are some monstrous character flaws there. I mean, I'm sorry, you can't do what he did to the Colts a year ago. You just can't do it. You can't. I'm sorry. It was one of the most unprofessional things I've ever seen, what he did. I mean, let's just recap real quickly here with Josh McDaniels. He had gotten so far to the point with the Colts that he had hired coordinators already. Mm-hmm. And then he left them high and dry. Mm-hmm. Now, Frank Reich was nice enough to allow them to retain their jobs. Let them keep their jobs. He's a good guy. And
that's who I would have chose for the Patriots. The Packers.
Packers? Sure, yeah, that would have been a perfect fit.
Yeah, he's not available now. He has another good quarterback.
No. So, but all I know is, look, if you want to go after other Patriots coordinators, I don't know who else their other coordinators are, but I would just say anybody but Josh McDaniels. I just wouldn't touch him. I would not touch him. If you actually said to me, Brian, you get the choice between Adam Gase for another 5 years or Josh McDaniels, I'll just suck it up and take Gase. I'll just suck it up because I can't deal with Josh McDaniels. There's a monstrous character flaw there, and I just can't. I wouldn't trust him either.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I would go for it because you need an offensive-minded coaches. There's just not a lot of those out there right now.
There's got to be other. I mean, come on. There's got to be other guys.
There's guys, but
who's the offensive coordinator for the Saints or the Rams? What about those guys?
Peyton's the real offensive coordinator.
No, I know that. But
Andy Reid is the real offensive coordinator for the Chiefs, and you could get a good disciple of Andy Reid. I mean, that would be. That's what I'm saying. I mean, there's options, but.
Try and hire guys from the Bill Walsh coaching tree. Those guys seem to be very successful. Actually, most guys on the Belichick coaching tree are not. Don't have a great track record.
No, except against Bill.
Against.
All right, so before we sign off, there was.
I don't think you need to worry about Urban Meyer, Brandon. He couldn't deal with that stress. There's just no way. There's no way.
No. He doesn't want Urban Meyer either. And then, I mean, I just don't like any of the college coaches. I mean, except for Harbaugh, but Harbaugh is not. He's done.
But he has NFL experience.
He's kind of done with NFL,
I think he might be. I just don't, I mean, I don't know what he thinks about a guy like John Harbaugh. I love John Harbaugh. I really hope he's the Dolphins coach at some point, but I don't think that's going to happen because I think
that's the other Harbaugh. Yeah,
ridiculous. I think the Dolphins are still ridiculously in love with Adam Gase to the point where they don't see. The Dolphins never see anything that's wrong with them. They think 8-8 and 7-9 is perfectly acceptable in the NFL.
The fans too. The fans seem that way as well, right? You're always fighting with those fans.
Oh, they're idiots. Yeah. Dolphin fans are complete morons. At least the ones on Twitter. Yeah, they're idiots. They're all imbeciles.
They're idiots.
They're stupid. They're all their brains are fried by the Miami Heat. They're clowns. I can't even deal with them. And then I get accused of being a bad fan, because you're so negative and this and that. You're up there supporting your team. I'm a better Dolphin fan than they'll ever be. And I'm up here in Connecticut. And they're actually down there in Florida. Mm-hmm. Hey, you want evidence that the Dolphins are the worst fans on the planet? Just watch a game. They're quiet. They're generally rooting for the other team anyway. And they're awful. They're awful, awful people. They really are. Sorry.
No heart.
So two way about it. Oh.
Or is it too much heart for blind? Their heart's blind.
Yeah, I think a lot of Dolphin fans, especially the ones in Miami, I think they all have Stockholm syndrome. I really do. I think they're just they've gotten to the point where they're defending their abusers. I will never do that. I mean, I'm sick and tired of it, and I'm numb to it, but I will not defend it. No way, shape, or form.
That's why I always say you want long-term success. Long-term success.
But, and the Dolphin fans are so concerned about winning free agency every year. And there have been years. In fact, the Dolphins are almost every other year you can count on them to be the quote unquote free agency champions. And what good has it ever done them? It's never done them anything. A couple of years ago when Ndamukong Suh was available and they got him, what good did that do? Didn't do much.
All right.
Wasn't great.
Let's get on to...
Where do you think you're going? I'm going to sort it out.
Also known as...
Swords!
All right. Avengers Endgame trailer.
Yeah.
Came out.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts? I think you liked it.
Oh, I loved it. Loved it. Great teaser.
Yeah.
Had a little... Yeah, I loved that. I really loved that, like, right towards the end there, where Black Widow's like, I think this is going to work, Steve. And he's like, it better, because I don't know what I'm going to do if it doesn't.
Yeah.
I thought it was I just thought it was like a really great line. Like, it was like it's like very realistic. Like, I don't know what the hell we're going to do if this plan doesn't work. Whatever this plan is, what are we going to do if it doesn't work? I thought it was cool. I thought seeing Hawkeye as Ronin was cool. Mm-hmm. No, I'm all in. I'm all in on this movie. It looks like it's going to be great. I even put a joke out on Twitter the other day where I used like how you can do the thing with the picture where you can like fade him away like Thanos.
I don't know how you can do that, but you did it.
Oh, I jokingly put up like the thing. I was like, I was all excited for Aquaman and then I saw the Avengers trailer, and then in the snap of a finger, everything changed. Don't get me wrong, I'm still outrageously excited for Aquaman. Make no mistake about it. And I have a really good feeling about Aquaman, and we'll leave it at that. But as far as Avengers goes, it looks great. I mean, it looks great. I have a feeling you're going to say you were less than impressed with it for some reason. You look like you're coming in for a hot take here, but
I'm not. I as with most of their trailers, they have this all as dark tone, and I understand they have a dark tone because the last movie was a little on the dark side and still had a lot of stupid humor and stuff like that.
The guy just wiped out half of existence,
right? And it had a good. Like, I really enjoyed that film, but I just get so tired. I'm so tired of. I'm beaten down by their way that they do their trailers. They start off with this dark tone, and then they ease you in, like they keep going the dark tone, and then all of a sudden they add some humor
at the
here
end.
and there, and then you get to the movie, and there's a lot of jokes and a lot of all that kind of stuff, and it's fun, and there's action and all that stuff, but it's the same formula every single time, and
but it's hard to argue
tiring.
with the success of the formula, though.
It is. It's successful, but it's going to it's been beating me down to like it's predictable, which stinks. Like, the only thing that wasn't predictable in the end of the Avengers movie, this latest one, with Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet, the only thing that wasn't was who was actually going to die.
Yeah.
Like, you weren't 100% sure who they were going to pick. Like, it's one of those things that. Yeah, and Brandon said, Marvel will never be the Nolan verse, Shane. And I bashed Nolan's last film too, but I know it's never going to be there. I know it's not going to get to that level, but it's the same thing over and over and over again. I want something different. I just want something a little different. Like, surprise me once. Surprise me and let me leave the theater being like, whoa. Like, that was a legit good movie. Like, not just a fun action film. That was a legit good movie.
Like, you mean like Keanu Reeves, whoa? Or do you mean like Joey Lawrence, like, whoa?
More
Which
like
whoa?
Keanu.
More like Keanu.
Yeah, not whoa. Like, more like you're like you're blown away by the movie. Like when I left Inception. Like another Christopher Nolan movie. Christopher Nolan's a brilliant filmmaker. But when I left Inception, I was like, I just looked at my brother and I was like, holy crap. Like, that was...
I've still never seen that.
Dude. That is brilliant.
I feel like that movie's too cerebral for me. I'm kind of dumb. Most of the time I just want to go into a movie and be entertained. I don't really want to think too much. And Inception, even the title makes you think.
It's a thinker.
I don't want to think. I just want to be entertained.
Brandon said Black Panther didn't do that, and it didn't. It didn't do that 100% for me. I thought it was a good movie. I didn't think it was I wasn't blown away by it like everybody else was. I thought it was good because it, obviously brings the African American community, the African community together, and it was good. It was an African led film, but it just still didn't. It still had the same formula to me. Like there was jokes and key moments and that kind of.
Timmy just texted me again and he said, "Are we Dark Knight Rises trashing? Hold my beer." He does not like that movie. I'm a big Dark Knight Rises fan.
Oh, I hate that film.
Why do you hate Dark Knight Rises so much?
Because you need translation throughout the whole film. You have Batman. Can't understand a damn word. Needs subtitles.
Shut up. I disagree. Now is not the time for fear.
It's a good movie because they had to put it together so quickly because it was supposed to be another Joker film, but obviously the great Heath Ledger had passed away.
Perhaps he's wondering why somebody would shoot a man before throwing him out of a plane. Brandon, why do you want Mike McCarthy out of a job?
Oh my God, my eyes are watering.
Yeah,
I don't know why. It takes effort to do that.
Yeah, I can't stand that movie. That movie really upsets me.
You know what? It's
my least favorite Christopher Nolan film by far.
I loved you know what I loved? I liked old Batman being vulnerable and not being just not being.
You like them fighting in slow motion?
No, I liked.
But they were trying to do it in real time.
Really was fighting in slow motion. I mean, but I did. You know what though? It was like I love redemption stories, and that was like a redemption story for Batman because he got thrown in the pit. Mm-hmm. He had to figure he had to climb out of the pit. Good. And I just loved that scene. In fact, I almost, and I may still do it. I got to find some room more here in the walls. But there is a screenshot from that movie that is one of my favorite screenshots ever in a movie. Much like how I have the Jaws one right here. Roy Scheider on the boat. Mm-hmm. That one shot where after he comes back, he gets back to Gotham and he's fighting Bane and it's snowing in Pittsburgh. But they're fighting and he goes up he goes up onto that step and Bane is kind of looking up at him and there's just this one freeze frame of a shot where he's looking up at Batman, and Batman's just got this menacing look on his face, and he's looking down on Bane. He's on the top step, and the snow is coming down. Mm-hmm. I just love that. I love that shot. I thought it was, and I loved that fight scene too. You know, and it just, I thought that was, it's in those movies, those three. I mean, I absolutely recognize that Dark Knight is the best of the three. That's a given.
Oh yeah.
But my favorite is Dark Knight Rises of the three.
Oh yeah, no,
it really is.
It's not. That movie makes me so mad. The best part of that whole film was Anne Hathaway. Is that what her name is?
Yes.
Yeah. Whereas that's Catwoman. She did a really good job. I liked her as Catwoman. I thought she was going to be terrible.
We both know I have to kill you now. You'll just have to imagine the fire.
What?
Say that again.
Which one? Which part?
Yeah. It's like a death metal concert versus I don't know.
I mean, Bale's Batman is over the top. Listen, Michael Keaton's still the best Batman. I don't care what anybody says. You can fight me, argue with me. I don't care. It's not even up there.
Fight me.
It's the same thing as the Christopher. We all know who the best.
Bring it to you, Batman.
We all know who the best Superman is, right? It's Christopher Reeve. I mean, come on. It's Michael Keaton and Christopher Reeve. That's it. Story over. I will fight you.
All right, so I think that's pretty much it. I'm excited for the CW verse to kind of collide again. That's
the Elseworld.
Yeah,
yes. Tomorrow is a really fun day because you've got the winter meeting starting, and then you've got Elseworld starting,
and Sunday football.
And
lots of stuff going on.
Whatchamacallit? I have read Stephen Amell does tend to over exaggerate stuff, but I love him. But he's a major over exaggerator on social media. But I am very excited though because he he said, I think a week ago or so.
Oh, about the
Smallville reference. Yeah, well, I guess I mentioned it on the last show. I apologize. But basically, yeah, he said like if you're even a mild Smallville fan, you're gonna jump out of your seat. If you're a major Smallville fan, you're gonna like lose your mind. So I'm very excited to see what that's all about.
Okay. I'm excited.
I know it doesn't. I know it means we're not going to see Tom Welling as some Superman in some different universe, or Lex Luthor or Michael Rosenbaum, because I don't even know if they actually were on set and did any acting. I don't even think they did, but I'm still excited to see what that is. Is this Seth MacFarlane?
Of course.
Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, Christmas Dreaming. Yeah, I almost said California Dreaming. All right, so we're going to sign out here now. You excited? Yeah. You should come out with a Christmas album as Bane.
As Bane?
Just do one song. You got to do it. Not now. Not now. Please, God.
I was ready to go.
You got to come up with a song, get it going. I'd like to hear it. Brandon agrees with you. Michael Keaton for sure. I love Michael Keaton as Batman. He's just great.
It's great.
I actually...
He disguised his voice a little, but it wasn't over the top. It was subtle. He just went down an octave or so. And he was perfect. He was perfect. He was the perfect mix of Bruce Wayne and Batman. Mm-hmm. He was smart. He had that whole science thing going on, which I know you like about him. I mean, the whole thing with the chemicals and providing that to Vicky Vale to get it to,
They just have never really taken Batman to the actual Batman level. That always makes me upset. And they have gotten the closest, I think, probably, with Michael Keaton.
Yeah, it was, and Burton was a dark guy, so that worked out well.
Yeah.
I think what made Keaton so great, too, was, given Michael Keaton's background, you just didn't expect him to be a great Batman. And that's what makes, and he's an amazing actor, so that's what makes it great. Oh.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Do you understand the word I'm saying? Oh, baby, it's cold outside. Oh, this song is super rapey right now.
All right, so thank you guys for watching, listening, commenting. Thanks, Brandon, for all your commentary on on everything, and including giving us what you think about what's going on over in Green Bay. He does have a great voice.
Oh my God, it's smooth, like velvet.
Yeah. All right.
It's like liquid velvet coming out of his mouth.
You can find the show anywhere podcasts are played, iTunes, all those. You can find us at www.sportsandsorts.libsyn.com. And you can find everywhere we're got, like Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff. Facebook.com/Shane and the Bryman. Twitter, at Shane and Bryman. Yes, thank you. Cheers to you as well, Brandon. He's probably working tonight somewhere. If you want to post it, go ahead. We'd love to put it on there.
I'm gonna go with bar taco. I believe this is a bar taco kind of night.
Ooh.
Let's see if I'm right.
How about this one? So we also have.
It's very whimsical.
I'm going to be going to your Christmas party tonight.
Correct.
I will be there.
That is correct.
I'm bringing my son. We're going to come for a little bit.
I'm excited to see Cam.
No.
You going to bring Cam down in the basement so he can play Rampage?
Of course.
All right.
Of course. And I have to, I have to try and find a scarf.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know.
That scarf gets a little prize.
We're going to go somewhere. I don't know what to do.
It's a nice little, nothing crazy, but
I haven't had a scarf in a while, so I have to figure out something. This is tough for me.
Drawers made out of coal. I like coal. I was a coal miner once before. Oh, I believe I've gotten off topic.
Oh my God. Jeez. All right, so you can find us all those places. You find me on Twitter at Einhorner
Or you can find me at _Bane_man. Oh, Brian.
The Bane Man.
Hey, man.
Maybe it could be another alter ego like the Blundertaker. The Bane Man. It doesn't quite work. You need the audio of the voice. Yeah. Maybe I could just do like audio clips and just like put them on Twitter.
There you go. Like with commentary of just something that's going on.
The problem is I don't really know if it's a good imitation or not. I really haven't heard myself do it very often, so I'm not even sure.
It's good. I don't know if it's like comically good.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But I think it is. I think it's comically good, but I don't know how realistic it is. Like how close it is to the actual voice.
Oh, I don't. Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because it sounds like it. It makes me laugh. It sounds enough like it that it makes me laugh. It's like it's like when Fallon does Seinfeld. It goes up another octave. Like he's not actually. He goes to that next octave.
Yeah. I got you.
It's good. It makes me laugh.
I can work out a little.
But it also makes me angry because I hate that movie.
I used to have I can't do it anymore, and I'm not even going to attempt to do it. Back in the day, I used to have a really great Bill Clinton imitation, and but then I stopped doing it, obviously, like once he was out of office and everything, and I just can't really do it anymore.
Yeah.
I can't do it anymore. And my Trump imitation is really just like me imitating Alec Baldwin, and that's just not, that's like a copy of a copy, it's not really good.
But it's fun. It's fun to do.
It's fun. Oh, it's fun to do. Of course it's fun to imitate Trump. What a clown the other day. Did you see him at that funeral? Oh, my God.
He just... My wife was like, he just looks like such an angry old troll. He's got always like that look on his face.
He's made us appreciate so many other guys that have come before him, though. He really has. I have like a newfound level of respect for pretty much every president that was before him. Even the ones I didn't like.
Oh, I was in TJ Maxx the other day.
Wait a minute, whoa. You got Johnny Mathis.
Of course.
Yeah, baby. The king of Christmas. The man. The goat. This is the goat of Christmas. Just so you know.
I was in TJ Maxx yesterday, doing some like little stuff, little holiday shopping, all that kind of stuff. I actually looked for a scarf there yesterday when I was there. I couldn't find anything. But there was this woman who was an elderly woman talking about, just how all this stuff. And she was talking very loud, probably because she can't hear that well. But she was very loud and talking to this other woman. And she was like, oh, you're in this new place, right? You're in this new place. And she's like, how do you like it? She's like, I hate it. I'm sitting there with a bunch of old people all the time. This place, it stinks. And she's like, and then on top of that, she's like, all these people, they all side with that troll that we have in the office. Like I can't understand it. I can't they're like, gosh, I'm gonna build a wall. And we're gonna make them pay for it. How are they gonna make them pay for it? Like this, how are they gonna make them pay for it? This is so stupid. Why are you siding with this guy? He's just blowing smoke up your butts. Like she's yelling at TJ Maxx, and I'm just like walking by and laughing. Oh, so great. Clint showed up for the last 5 minutes.
He was
2 seconds. Anyway.
Oh, he would like a Nat King Cole. Do you have? Well, come on.
He said Nat King Cole's Christmas song is number one.
It is. It's one of the greatest. It's hard for me to argue. It would absolutely be in my top. We got to do that. We got to do a Mount Rushmore of Christmas songs coming up. I think we're gonna need to do that. There it is. I can tell you right now, this one will be on my Mount Rushmore without a doubt. But I think we should do this. I really do.
Okay.
I think we should do a Mount Rushmore, our Mount Rushmore of Christmas songs. And I think we should do it whatever show is closest to Christmas. Agreed?
Yeah, it's coming up soon.
I will add it to our list, where's my, okay.
Our any list?
Our any list. I'm going to put it on there right now.
Any list, great app, use it. All right,
yeah,
it's
really
been a long show.
Yes, it really has, and I have a lot of work to do, so we got to go.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff to do too. All right, thank you guys for listening, watching, all that kind of stuff. Clint says this is heaven.
It really is. It's beautiful. I have this vinyl. I'll be playing it tonight.
Cool.
I'll be playing it during the party. Yep.
I have a lot of Christmas.
I have 2 of this on vinyl. I actually have one that I bought new, and then I have one that I found in like a Salvation Army.
Awesome. All right, we're gonna and my wife says good morning from New Haven.
Good morning.
Who's working right now, which stinks on a Saturday.
It's been added to the any list. The Mount Rushmore Christmas songs, folks. It's coming.
All right. We're going to sign off with one of the greatest Christmas songs of all time, according to the Bry Man and to the Clint Man.
Yeah.
And what about the Bane Man?
Oh, I will sing it for you.
No, please don't.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
With Cole?
Yes, of course. Jack Frost nipping at your nuts. No, your nose.
Nosing at your nips, as the great
At your
John
nuts.
Valby.
At your nuts, I said.
But that's John Valby. You've heard John Valby sing Christmas songs, right?
I don't think so.
Dr. Dirty?
No, I don't think so.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
He's the GOAT. He said, chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nosing at your nips. I think that's what he says. I think that's what it is. All right. Thanks you for listening.
Okay,
on that note, we'll talk to you again soon on Monday. We'll be back with our Monday morning quarterback session and what you learned, all that kind of stuff, and we'll be back soon. And then we won't have any shows left before the holidays. We're going to be taking a little time off.
Take a little time off.
Yeah, around the holidays. And unless something huge happens, then we'll try.
Huge.
Thanks a lot for watching. Clint, my wife, Brandon, Tim, who I'm assuming I'll see tonight.
Yes, actually, Christine, it was. Yes, the cigar guy. Oh, my God.
Yes.
Absolutely. Without a doubt.
She will pick up on that in a heartbeat.
So she'll pick up on that thing, Tommy Boy?
Oh, she loves Chris Farley and Tommy Boy. Yeah.
Hey, Christine, I know you're a doctor, so I want to ask you something. So, like my face, it doesn't hurt here so much, or here, but right here. Hey, Christine. Christine, I have what doctors call a little bit of a weight problem. I used to grab bear claws 2 at a time and then get them lodged right here in this region. What's your name? Helen. You look like a Helen. Helen, let me tell you why I suck as a salesman. Let's say this little piece of bread is my sale, right? And I take it and I pet it. You're a naughty pet. And oh! That's when I blow it.
Yeah. Good times.
Got cat-like speed and reflexes.
Quit playing with your dinghy. Let's go.
I miss him.
Yes, he is. Chris Farley, the GOAT.
They did so I watched the Rich Eisen show sometimes. Listen to it. They do this thing where they do like start, bench, and cut. So it was start, bench, and cut. Chris Farley, John Belushi, and Bill Murray. So you have to. So they apply a sports theme to it. So you have to start one, bench one, and cut one. And this was. I started Farley. Mm-hmm. And I benched Belushi, and I cut Bill Murray. And I love Bill Murray, but I had to cut him because I'm like such a Belushi and Farley kind of guy. Like those guys just. I mean, I completely recognize that Bill Murray is one of the great comedians and comic actors of our time. Yeah. It's not even up for debate. But personally, Farley was my guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Farley's my guy, and I'd bench Murray.
Because I
love Chris Farley. I really enjoy Bill Murray, and there's some stuff that Belushi was just a little too crazy for me. He's a little too crazy.
I loved that. I loved him. And
he
honestly,
looked like he was insane.
Yeah, I know.
And and it just was a little.
That was one of the endearing things about it. I loved it. I mean, I can. I know. He's obviously.
I appreciate everybody that
he's got a. I mean, obviously, Belushi's got a big SNL background, and he's got Blues Brothers, and then of course Animal House, which is kind of where I actually, saw him for the first time. But yeah, it was tough, and I mean, it's like impossible for me to like get rid of Bill Murray, but they gave me 2 other guys that I couldn't not put before him. It was tough. Brutal. I wish he had just thrown anybody else in.
All right.
Like even Steve Martin, I could have lived with that. Bill Murray's tough. It's a tough cut.
Oh, I love Steve Martin. Steve Martin's awesome.
I do too, but I mean, I could have at least lived with that a little easier. It would have been really tough if they had put like the three fat funny guys. So if you had like Farley, Belushi, and John Candy, oh man, that would have been brutal. The result probably would have been the same though.
All those people that you just mentioned, I would pick over Belushi.
Well, I included Belushi. I said Belushi, Farley, and like John Candy.
Yeah, I would pick all of those guys.
You would do Candy and
Candy. I would do Martin. I would do
Okay.
I mean, Steve Martin isn't an SNL guy, but he was on there a lot. But
he was on there a lot.
But he wasn't an actual SNL guy.
I could cut Chevy Chase. He's a dick.
But I love
him. He really is like a.
But
I know he's
so good.
Reputation is just like oof.
Oh yeah, he's such he's a jerk.
If you want to do like another guy who's going to show up on like a Me Too thing, I would bet on Chevy Chase.
No, there's no way. He's too. I bet you he's berated.
Maybe he's too self-absorbed.
You're not good enough for me.
Yeah, right. Probably.
He probably said something like that. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. All right, thanks for listening. We'll see you again. Bye.
Say class. Yes.